Good afternoon then everyone, and welcome to our follow-up Q&A session with myself and Dr. Dan Jones from Advanced Invasives. This Q&A session follows the last webinar we had on managing woody invasive plants, which focused on rhododendron and buddleia. So due to the volume of questions we had during that webinar and the time constraints with it, we didn't get all the questions covered off. So Dan's kindly agreed to answer the questions that we didn't cover today. Okay, so Dan, if you're ready, we'll start with the first question. Apologies if I don't have your name. Not everyone submitted names for these questions, but where there is a name, I will put a call out to that person. But the first question is from Anonymous. Have you got any examples of rhododendron or butterfly bush eradication?
Anecdotally, I've got some good examples of butterfly bush local eradication, where management programs have been continued long enough that you don't get a recovery of growth in that locality, although you do have often continuous seeding into that area. With respect to rhododendron control, frequently projects fail, and that's because a lot of the management methods that are used in the initial stages of the management process are really expensive. Funds run out before the job's done. And that's a real problem with rhododendron management at the UK scale.
Great, thank you very much. Another question, what's the best application method for rhododendron? I've seen lots of different methods being used, even on the same project. Again, no name with this one, unfortunately.
Well, this kind of comes back to what I was talking about in terms of economic sustainability and management. Ultimately, the best method is determined not only by its efficacy, but by how much it costs. And there's a whole range of different methods that are suggested for rhododendron control. Quite a lot of them are laborious, which means that they take a lot of time and money to apply, which means, again, that the projects are front-loaded, the funds run out before anything near eradication is achieved. And that's a real problem, particularly with rhododendron management in the UK.
Brilliant, thank you. A question from Celia Higgs. Celia Higgs now. What would you suggest for bamboo? Slightly left field, but we'll ask.
Glyphosate is the best herbicide for bamboo control. I think the best people to get in touch with about management of bamboo would be Brian Taylor or Jim Glaister at the Knotweed Company, because I'm aware that they're currently writing a book on bamboos and their management, and they're certainly best placed to answer those questions.
Brilliant. I think Jim mentioned that on the PCA conference as well. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Another question, are ecoplugs good at killing buddleia?
Ecoplugs are really effective, but coming back to the discussions that we had during the webinar, because of their nature, you've got to cut the tree down, cut the shrub down, you've got to apply the ecoplugs. That is necessarily a longer process. There's greater costs involved in it. Particularly when you think about rhododendron management, you're in an upland area, they're difficult to access, you're adding time and labour costs to the overall treatment strategy. So when we're talking about strategic management of these plants over large areas, wide scale, the ecoplug does have a drawback in that respect.
Okay, a follow-up question on the buddleia as well, please, Dan. Can you stem inject Icade into buddleia?
I've heard about stem injection in a range of different products, not only in buddleia, but also in Japanese knotweed. If they're not on the label, it's illegal to do that, regardless of whether they're effective or not.
Okay, so always follow the label.
Absolutely.
Okay, question from Joe Mullet. Joe says, does Roundup Pro Vantage already have suitable adjuvants and surfactants for waxy leaf species? Are adding adjuvants and surfactants approved for areas near watercourses?
Roundup has a great inbuilt surfactant system. However, Monsanto, Bayer recommend the use of mixture B for the control of waxy leaf species like Cotoneaster. Speedway is a successor to mixture B, so I would recommend its use. But again, it comes back to label instructions. Check to see if you can use that near watercourses.
Okay, thank you. And finally, why does Icade Incinero work better than Roundup for killing shrubs like rhododendron?
Synthetic auxins disrupt the vasculature, the tubes that carry around water and nutrients within the plant. If these are disrupted by synthetic auxins in woody shrubs, it restricts the movement of these products within the plant, and it kills them outright. Glyphosate, in contrast, moves to growing points, and it doesn't disrupt the structure and function of the plant to the same extent. So you can achieve better control, kill of the plant in situ using a synthetic auxin at lower doses in comparison to the relatively high doses that you would need with glyphosate.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, Dan, that covers the few questions that we never quite covered in the webinar. Once again, Dan, thank you for your time and your expertise and knowledge for the webinars and the Q&As. It's always fascinating talking to you. I personally learn quite a lot, so I quite enjoy doing these. And to everyone that's watched these and all our webinars, thank you very much for your time. We hope to try and run sessions like these again in the future, but we're still trying to put a schedule and topics together for that. Once we know a little bit more, we will make everyone aware, and we'll publicize those through all the channels and through social media and emailers and everything like that. So keep an eye out, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Dan, thank you as always. Cheers.
Larry.